When I was little, I lived alone with my maternal grandfather. I don't even remember my parents. I only heard that they died in a tragic car accident when I was about 5. My grandfather embraced me with everything he had. He cooked warm meals just for me, shook out blankets on rainy days, and often caught colds before I did. When winter came, he'd cup my small hands in his and say,
"Even just the two of us, the world is still warm enough."
That sentence felt like magic. With those words, I wasn't afraid of anything. Then came a winter when I turned 9. That year, Grandpa was suddenly hospitalized. At first, I thought he'd come home in a few days. But the stay grew longer, and his body grew thinner. The hands that once felt so strong began to tremble. With each labored breath, I held his hand tight and prayed every night.
"Please, Grandpa, don't leave me behind."
But my prayers went unheard. One snowy morning, he took his final breath in that hospital bed. On the day of the funeral, I sat between white chrysanthemums and wept. I didn't feel the cold. I didn't notice the stares. All I could feel was a deep, tearing pain inside me. Then I heard a strange voice behind me.
"Don't you want to stop growing old?"
I turned around. There stood an old man in a tattered coat. His wrinkled eyes held a deep sadness, and a silence that seemed to know something. Through tears, I answered,
"Yes. I don't want to grow old. I'm scared. Of death, of change."
The old man stared at me for a while, then nodded.
"Once you choose, you can never turn back. Even if you regret it, you won't be able to stop it."
I don't care. Even if time passes, I want to remember Grandpa just like this. Please. Don't let me grow old.
I cried myself to sleep that night, and when I opened my eyes, the world was unchanged. As if nothing had happened. A few days later, I was sent to an orphanage. In a place where nothing was familiar, I became a quiet, withdrawn child. Then one day, I met a girl named Minju. She was small, pale-skinned, with long hair, and a gentle, shy smile. We fell in love. Each night, we sat on an old swing behind the orphanage, and whispered our dreams.
What do you want to do first when you grow up?
I want to live in a house I built myself. One with lots of windows. What about you?
I just want to stay with you. Just like this.
And I meant every word. Minju began to grow. She got taller, her voice deeper. But me, I didn't change at all. I was still 9. My face, my voice, even my hands stayed the same. As the other kids entered puberty, I still wore my elementary school uniform. Some began to avoid me. The whispers started.
What's wrong with him? Why doesn't he grow? Maybe his body just stopped. That's creepy.
Even the adults grew wary. Soon, I found myself swinging alone. Then one day, Minju asked,
"Aren't you scared that nothing ever changes?"
I had no answer. After that, we drifted apart. She moved on to high school. I stayed the same. When she came to say goodbye, I knew it was a farewell.
"I really loved you. But I have to move forward. You're always standing still."
I left the orphanage. Not belonging anywhere, I wandered from place to place. I didn't work. I just slept. No one believed me. No one understood. Kids I met on the street would ask,
How old are you?
18.
They'd laugh.
Yeah, right.
For about 10 years, I drifted. From orphanages in small towns to church shelters, abandoned buildings, funeral homes. I never stayed long. Eventually, I stopped counting the seasons. That's when I realized time didn't move for me. It was a cruel curse. I stopped loving anyone. Too afraid they'd leave. Afraid my presence would become a burden. And then, I climbed to the rooftop of a tall building in Seoul. The wind brushed my neck. The lights below looked smaller and smaller. All I could see in my heart was Grandpa's face.
This life. Let's end it here. I miss you, Grandpa.
I closed my eyes. And then, like waking from a long dream, a flash of light. I opened my eyes. And found myself lying in a hospital bed. A warm hand held mine. Next to me, a man in his 50s was crying.
Doctor, my father, he's awake.
Suddenly, it all came back to me. I turned to the man beside me and said,
My son, I had the most beautiful dream.
The emotions I felt in that dream, though heavy for a child, became my most treasured moments. Now that I was facing death. As the nurses entered the room, the old man in the bed closed his eyes again, with a gentle smile.